Council meeting this Tuesday at the State House.
Executive Council 2 embraced the renewed national anthem for the first time and for the only meeting yet in June. After more than a month, memos have piled up. 39 items found their way on the agenda and dealt with. One of them is the prospective new minimum wage issue. After a marathon of meetings, the representatives of the government and private sector in the tripartite committee on new minimum wage on June 7 suggested 62,000 naira as a new benchmark, which the organized labor rejected. The memo got here before the council, but then the much anticipated final decision will not be taken here.
Mr. President is going to consult further so that he can have an informed position, because the new national minimum wage, like I said, is not just an issue of the federal government. It affects the state governments, it affects the local governments, it also affects the organized private, and that is why it is called national minimum wage. It's not just an affair of the federal government.
The prevailing health issues also got attention of the council, with a cabinet committee to be set up to coordinate emergency operations to check the outbreak of cholera, which the Minister of Health confirmed has now been recorded in 31 states, with 53 deaths from about 1,500 cases.
And resources were deployed to 21 states to help them respond to the cholera, in addition to improving awareness of our population, hand washing.
Apart from deploying vaccines to check the outbreak of yellow fever in part of Bayelsa State, the council has also set up a task force to address the acute malnutrition cases recorded across Sokoto, Katsina, and Zamfara.
A ministerial task force that is mobilizing resources from the World Bank and also grant financing to provide ready-to-use therapeutic foods for the treatment of those severely malnourished children, while the country is making progress to expand food production.
The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy reported on some positive indices on the economy, including the debt stock falling by 15%. But most importantly, it says the president is concerned with how to ensure food security.
Setting up of the economy to put down the infrastructure that will lead to growth. You put infrastructure, you get growth. That is going apace. But the uppermost and the most important thing on Mr. President's agenda now is the issue of food, food security, nutrition, affordability of food for Nigerians, and he's working day and night.
Council is now preparing toward the implementation of the 2022 National Policy on Plastic Waste Management by approving the immediate ban on single-use plastics across 8 ministries, departments and agencies.
Being done in the federal ministries and agencies, you will see that it will convince you that it is possible.
The government has also decided to boost the counter-narcotic operations of the NDLEA with procurement of 33 CNG-compliant vehicles, arms, ammunition, and anti-riot equipment, among others.
The third in the series is the procurement of 2 units of body scanner, full body scanners at both Abuja and Lagos international airports to boost the operation of NDLA.
We had 3
Works Minister Dave Umahi, who got augmentation approval for 3 major roads in Enugu, Lagos and Cross River State, said that all roads projects across the country are being monitored for timely delivery. From the State House, Muspal and Wahab, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu's administration's commitment to free and responsible journalism through access to accurate information, regular media briefings, and training opportunities was reiterated by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. This was at a training workshop for the media organized by the National Counter-Terrorism Center.
Although members of the pen profession do not have the power to shoot a gun in the fight against terrorism, they control the pen, whose power is mightier than that of the sword. This is to update members of the media, particularly defense correspondents, of the dynamics and strategic roles they are expected to perform in sustaining the battle against terrorism. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris joined in the advocacy and encouraged the media to use data and research to authenticate their reports and avoid sensationalism.
Without propaganda, terrorism will not thrive. And at all times, a terrorist will always want to be in the news. So it is the responsibility of all of us as media practitioners to know the kind of news coverage that you give them. I have said it times without number that it is often not helpful when on the front pages of our newspapers you find pictures of terrorists with AK-47 across their shoulder and portraying them as if they are actually heroes. They are not. These are enemies of our land, and we should treat them as such. So this kind of engagements, Jaralaka and other distinguished guests here, please deepen it in the interest of the fight against terrorism.
Journalists not only set agenda, but mold opinions, because the media also function as a conviction.
We are hopeful that the workshop will allow for honest dialogue that will generate useful ideas to improved strategies of reporting to enhance peace and security in Nigeria.
With the theme, Effective Reporting Towards Strengthening Alternatives to Terrorist Ideologies, Contemporary Security Challenges, the defense correspondents are expected to cross-fertilize ideas with relevant stakeholders as part of efforts in fighting terrorism using the non-kinetic approach. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The Federal Capital Territory Women Affairs Secretariat is set to change lives and shape the future of women deemed to be the backbone of the society. This mission is with a view to uplifting and inspiring women in the nation's capital through skills acquisition, economic empowerment, and mentorship. Hawa Gimba reports that widows from the 6 area councils converge to benefit from this gesture.
Emotional expression by some widows were eye-opener for many who are seated in this hall.
I just don't like that word, widow. But when I came in here, I said, okay, yes, these are the kind of widows I want to be amongst.
I'm also a widow with 3 children. But you know, when my sister said, yes, you don't like that word widow, I don't like it. I don't want to be vulnerable.
Mandate Secretary, FCT Women Affairs Secretariat Adedayo Benjamin's Lani enjoins women to see themselves as that woman who is strong in faith, promising that the Secretariat will continue to support them. Provision of food items to the widows is just the beginning of new things to happen.
Everything in FCT has changed.
Permanent Secretary, FCT Women Affairs, Kolawole Rabiu says the present administration is not relenting in providing support for the vulnerable children, widows, women, and persons with disabilities in the FCT.
We at Women Affairs Secretariat, we place special emphasis on strengthening land and property rights for widows.
Anybody can be a widow. They didn't choose, they were not born widows. Are you getting me? It just happened, and it can happen to anyone. So for us here to take care of them, we know that it is what.
For some widows, their joy knows no bounds as they appreciate the FCT Minister and Minister of State stakeholders for the gesture.
I appreciate by seeing that they give to us. I really thank God. We are
very, very happy.
Well, to mark International Widows Day with the FCT 2024 theme, Accelerating of Gender Equality is Arts. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
And from Empowerment Program, let's take a look at the environment. The FCT Emergency Management Department, FEMD, says Proactive mitigation measures are targeted at preserving lives of residents against the threat of flooding in parts of the territory. Acting Director General of the department, Florence Wenegeme, stated this in an interview with NTA News following the blockage of the Galadimawa Slip Road. Onotiahu gives us details.
With the Federal Capital Territory rapidly growing in infrastructural development, experts say urban flooding becomes one of the consequences for such growth in infrastructure. And this particular spot where we stand, the Galadima roundabout, still under construction, is one of the major black spots that has become synonymous with urban flooding in the last couple of years. Monday's long heavy rainfall and accumulated stormwater brought to bear the reminder of the annual dangers to life the slip road can constitute to road users on the roads. The road was blocked several weeks ago as part of the annual mitigation measure. But for ease of the expanded traffic maneuver at the construction site, the
happens at night when people are sleeping. We have women and children there. We may have pregnant women there. We have the aged. We have people with disabilities of any form. We may have people bedridden there. How will they escape?
News.
You're watching the news at 1 on Nta Channel 5, Abuja. Still to come on the news. Thank you for staying tuned. 2 months to deliver. The chairman gave the order while performing the groundbreaking ceremony of the Lugbe Primary School and Lugbe Chiefs Palace Township Roads on Tuesday. Deborah Gazajimaika reports that 15 Ashford Legacy Road across the 3 zones of the 12 political wards are all ready for inauguration.
In Lugbe, we have the first lift as the Abuja Municipal Area Council overdue for infrastructural development.
More than 18 roads built by Abuja Municipal Area Council.
Most of the communities that were not developed in the past, as of today, because of the road construction we are carrying out from Karishi, from Orozo, from Karo, from Nyanya, the community in Nyanya, which is Bagalape.
Leaders of the communities laud the initiatives of the chairman on road revolution in the area council.
Road has been the problem of this community, and we want to thank the present administration, which is led by Honorable Christopher Zaka Mekalongu, for giving us his attention.
Something like this is a thing of joy. I will need to give God the glory for having this project in our community.
AMAC chairman urged the 2 communities to safeguard the road projects by cooperating with the contractors and workers on the sites for speedy completion in Abuja.
Constantly turn eagle eyes on their surroundings and strengthen partnership with security agencies and intelligence synergy for service delivery. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Phone Equipe France is the title of the training project. The facilitator, Henry Feitimi, says the idea is to support 10 pilot schools that will benefit directly, and the program is reserved for teachers of French as a foreign language whose mother tongue is not French.
Nigeria is surrounded by francophone countries, so when it comes to bringing out better quality in pupils and students in Nigeria, we see that it is imperative that we are able to communicate with our neighbors and also to produce graduates who will be able to fit in well.
Participants described the program as innovative as it will deepen their knowledge of French culture and civilization.
French language is an official language, and it's an international language rather. And among the international languages that we have globally, French is also one of the important languages among them. And with French language, even after you study another...
In Africa and also internationally, Hadiza Godwin Ebuni